Hello and welcome to the Churros y Tácticas Podcast. It is Tuesday, just 2.5 hours or so before Real Madrid take the field against Manchester City in the first leg of the Champions League semifinals, 2023 edition. Diego is unimpressed with my intro. He thinks I should do it probably more extravagant because Real Madrid won Copa del Rey, aka
Campeones.
aka
Here's
Copa
a pasillo.
del FC Barcelona. Thank you for the pasillo. I can't do that. At risk to what happens tonight, I don't want anything to backfire in my face. Just staying humble tonight.
Come on, you guys are champions. You guys won the Copa del Rey.
As you may have noticed, we did not go back to Cibeles on Saturday night.
Oh shit!
Business
Hey,
first.
that's a good one.
Yeah, we went back to our homes, and all the players went and did meditation and stretched and exercised. No alcohol, no drugs.
Were there fans in Cibeles?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know, but they would have known not to show up anyway, because it was announced beforehand.
But dude, this is it's the first time that I'm actually thinking of what happened the night of the celebrations, because that night actually I had a dinner party, and it was on in the background, but not a lot of attention was being put to it, especially now when obviously the 2-1 hit. That said, I didn't spend any time thinking about whether Cibeles would be packed. It's an interesting one. I'm kind of curious. I want to know now. I didn't see anything in the press, and I feel like they would have made a mention to it.
No, I mean, I obviously I wasn't there to know for sure, but I don't think anyone went, because everyone knew that because it was announced before the game, not officially, I don't think, but everyone knew before the game that Real Madrid had decided maybe Carlos spoke about it. I'm not on my sharpest today because I'm thinking about tonight's game, but either way,
of course,
they knew beforehand that if Real Madrid win Copa del Rey that night, that they had decided as a club not to go to Cibeles because they wanted to just focus on City and not get carried away. So I think that was the right decision.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that made it a lot more of a watered down final. I don't know. Did you guys even discuss the final, the performance? As I said, it was an afterthought on the evening for me, seeing as I had hosting guests. But how was it?
Well, as I told you before, we did a churros before the game, like a day before, and I said it's kind of a lose-lose. If you lose Copa del Rey, it's disaster, embarrassment, humiliation. Yeah. If you win it, great. It's what you're supposed to do when you have to move on quickly to City. And that's kind of how I felt heading into it. It was a much bigger occasion for Osasuna. You know, this was their first chance at a major trophy since 1933. And
no. 15 years ago, my friend. Forget not. We fact-checked it on the last churros. The last Copa del Rey they won was 15 years ago.
No, they had gotten to the final.
They gone to the final.
Fact check your fact check, please.
They gone to the final.
Yeah.
But I felt like you said their last chance at a big trophy. Sorry, did you say the last time they won?
I don't know what I said, but what I meant to say regardless was that it was their first chance to win. Not last chance. Unless the club is disbanded after this finishes recording.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. I know you froze up there for a second. I thought I lost you.
No, I'm here.
Well, so it was kind of like, it seems like this was sort of treated like a friendly, or like a more intense friendly in build up to the big semifinal. Is that?
Yeah, look, the game itself was fantastic. It was a really great game. Like, it was end-to-end stuff. Osasuna played fantastic, and Real Madrid were not comfortable. As I predicted, like, it's not going to be an easy game to play against Osasuna in a final, I don't think. They're a team that can give you problems. They're well organized. They're well drilled. They have some talent. They have some players that can frustrate you physically. and they have talented offensive players. They have a really great Moy Gomez, who's been in fantastic form this season. They have a striker in Budimir who gives us hell every
Old
time we
school.
play against him because
He's
an
old
aerial
school. I
threat.
mean, the fact that they were missing Chimmy. I mean, you're not going to rely on old man Budimir to win you a cup. I mean, it was no.
Well, no, of course, but look, but Budimir always gives us problems because we are really bad at marking people in the box when it comes to headers and marking crosses and all those. And Osasuna are good at that and getting the cross in. So regardless, like Real Madrid deserved to get their victory and they played well enough to win. But as I said, it wasn't, I wouldn't label it as a friendly, as you put it, or an intense friendly. I would label it as an important game and an important trophy. It's only the 4th Copa del Rey trophy that Real Madrid have won in my lifetime. It's great, important. But again, this just quickly moves and it's probably bigger for Osasuna than it was for us in a lot of capacity. And to answer your question, did we talk about it? Well, after the Osasuna Real Madrid game, we called it Osasuna Review / Manchester City Preview. And it was basically more of a Manchester City preview than an Osasuna post-game podcast. We lost you. You're back, so I don't know how much of what I said you caught, but
I love it. See, I didn't even know. I was like, did he even notice I cut out? But you're a pro. You just keep riffing. Just keep pushing forward.
You have
and he's back. You are. You're ready for broadcast. Hey, by the way, I didn't ask you this. I'm gonna skip over this Copa del Rey. It obviously clearly means nothing, and I think we have more interesting things to talk about, both for you and our listeners. Unless there's anything else to say about Old Man Ante Budimir and how Osasuna, as valiant of an effort they put up on the night, the fact that they didn't have Chimi, Mame Chimi, sort of made this. Already, it wasn't prime time. You know, you're not going to get the best Osasuna that we have seen this season. But respect for Jacobo, Arrasate, and the entire Osasuna community. I felt like you could have let him win. I was like, come on, just let him win the goddamn. It doesn't mean nothing. It's like the fat man is eating more cake rather than sharing it with those that are hungry for some.
We're not fat in Copa del Rey. We're not fat in Copa del Rey.
Give some cake.
No,
to
we need
the
some
others
Copa del Rey calories. We need Copa del Rey calories. We're starving in that tournament.
Listen, I wanted to quickly jump in here because I know you went on Sky Sports, and it just shot to mind. I wanted to ask you about it sooner. The last time you were in London, you visited our old friend David Garrido. I imagine. I don't know. I didn't see the interview. Normally, you would put that on your social, but you didn't.
No. Last year, I went in studio Sky Sports with David Garrido. I didn't do that this year. This year, I don't know if I don't think I actually shared this story about what happened this year. This year, I saw
you posted something.
Yes,
you were like
I was supposed to. So this is what happened. They didn't want me in studio. They wanted me outside the stadium because they have it set up so that they're walking around the stadium with the microphone, and they wanted me on to interview me about Real Madrid and stuff. And I was like, sure. Why not? I'll be there 2 hours before the game anyway. So I forget the name of the gentleman who was on air that day. And we were emailing back and forth. He said, okay, meet at this game. I was like, great. I said, look, I couldn't find you because I think you're walking around. I'm going to go inside and to my seat, put my laptop and bag down, and I'll come back and meet you. And he said, okay, great. I'm here. He gave me like this. He's like, I'm on the other side of the stadium. And at that time, it was like an absolute gong show. I was like, 1 to 2 hours before the game, when Chelsea are on the verge of elimination, you can imagine what the atmosphere is like, right? It's crazy. There's a lot of fans. There's flares. The streets are blocked. And he's at a place where I'm like legally not allowed to go to because the police have blocked the street. And I'm like, listen, man, this is just going to be impossible. I'm just going to go in the stadium, catch you next time. And he says, yeah. He said, okay, sorry. It just, so it didn't work out.
It didn't work out. All right.
Didn't work
out.
So Sky Sports lost that day. They lost so many ratings because everyone, once they realized Kiyan Sobhani's not on air, they cancel their subscriptions. They turn off the TV.
I did see an apology, like a tweet, a message that they put out apologizing to their viewers for
Yeah,
the fact that they couldn't make this
too
interview,
little,
this
too late.
post-match report
Damage was
happen.
done.
Well, listen, I hope you sue them and get all your money's worth because what a disgrace. What a disgraceful organization for bailing on you like that. I'm sorry. La Liga TV, we treated you better. You came on every time. It was a
The
classic.
good old days, man, with La Liga TV. One thing, this is interesting. I mean, I said yes to it. I don't know. I never even knew about it, but Amazon TV emailed me yesterday. They have a new football show on Amazon. They said, but I don't. It's not. It's like it's a live show. It's not like a series.
Not pre-recorded?
Yeah, it's like, so I don't know if it's a radio show. They said we'll bring you in on Skype. So I'm going to doing that on Thursday. I don't know what it is.
Fantastic. What's the show? Well, fuck yeah. I think I know about this show. I think I might know the person that is involved or presented. Do you know the name?
I'll tell you right now. It was
Okay.
Amazon Sports Talk.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I just will be there on Skype on Thursday.
Well, have fun with it, dude. I'll have fun with it. Have fun with it.
Try my best.
Let us see. I want to see the goods.
Yeah, I'll ask them and see what it's like, where it'll be aired. I don't know if it's audio or video. I don't know if it's a radio show or a video. I don't know what it is.
What? It must be TV.
I would imagine. Yeah. Yeah. But they said they're going to pre-record my segment, and then I think it goes on air like an hour later or something. So it's still
sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Listen, man, forget about this stuff.
No, I like this stuff.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, I'm looking at it.
I have a bone to pick with you and your club.
Oh,
Today is about Champions League. Today is about Real Madrid versus Manchester City. Today is about Copa del Rey trophies. And everything in the paper today. Masterful PR. Busquets is leaving Barcelona. Tribute to the GOAT DM. Is Messi coming back to Barca? Is Neymar going back to Barca? Nothing is about Real Madrid. So excellent work with the PR machine, bro.
Yeah. I'll tell you, is this official? Because I need to kind of...
What? Busquets?
I just want to make sure that it's... Yeah.
No, it's not official. No.
Okay, well, I mean, because I should know, because... well, I don't know. I don't really... I want to see the end of these 2 months out with Barca. So I cannot deny nor confirm these allegations that Kiyan Sobhani is unwillingly forcing down my throat and throwing my way. But it's big news, huh? If it's true, of course. But yeah, there's a lot of... I guess things that start moving once this becomes official, because well, first, I mean, starting was with this, I guess we have to sort of start with El Chiringuito and Marçal Llorente on the program last night announcing that Messi was going to sign for Al Hilal. I'm butchering that one.
I don't think it's Ali Halal.
That is a gross generalization or
that's terrible, Diego. That's terrible.
It is something along those lines. This is a foreign language to me. I am not, I am out of my depth here. But the other team, the other big team in Saudi Arabia.
That's like the equivalent of me calling someone calling, I don't know, Real Madrid, Raul Madrid, I guess. It's something like that's probably, although Raul Madrid actually makes a little bit sense, but
and if somebody from Saudi Arabia would say that about, that Raul Madrid, then that would be fine with me, because I would understand and show sympathy that they are just not accustomed to, the Spanish language or the cultural differences, the cultural things that make up this beautiful and wonderful country. As Saudi Arabia, I am sure I've never been there. I've never visited that part of the Middle East. Anyways, the point that we should be focused on, Kiyan, is that last night on El Chiringuito, Marcel Llorente announced that Messi had decided to sign for that base. He said that it was a done deal. He was not going to come to Barca and he was going to go to Saudi Arabia. And with him, he was going to take Jordi Alba, who has 1 year left on his contract, and Barca captain Sergio Busquets. Now, this news was confirmed by the French Press Association, whose name I'm also butchering. You see, I am not good with official names. And they put out a statement saying, effectively, I'm sure not based on what Marcel Llorente said on El Chiringuito, although, El Chiringuito does have a massive impact. It is the stage at the end of the day where Don Florentino Perez decided to announce the start of the Super League. They confirmed, or they doubled down on that information that came from Marcel Llorente. Then the Messis, Jorge Messi, the agency that represents Lionel Messi, came out with a statement categorically denying those statements, the news articles being put out both on El Chiringuito. They actually named El Chiringuito, the French press association, as well as basically put out a joint. They're generalizing the media in their false accusations, saying that Leo Messi will start thinking about his future at the end of the season after finishing, the French league with PSG. Now, we saw the week started out how, Kiyan? The week started out before Messi was awarded the L'Oreal.
I think it's L'Oreal. It's French, right?
I don't think it's L'Oreal. L'Oreal award. We then saw Messi. Actually, that's incorrect. Before being handed the award, we saw Messi being held captive and hostage at gunpoint, apologizing for having flown to Saudi Arabia for reasons best known to himself. I'm just saying, there are all these little clues, all these little bits of the puzzle that are now, if you just put them together, Messi being in Saudi Arabia, him being held at gunpoint to apologize for that trip, him now releasing a statement categorically denying that he has signed for the club or that he will play there.
I would have just not have apologized. He didn't.
Busquets.
I feel like PSG deserve no apology by anyone.
Agreed. But he probably just wants to leave with the least amount of dirt on him from the perspective of the Parisians, from the perspective of the QSG supporters and fan base, directors there. It's clearly his last months at the club. Their relationship has been anything but fluid, I would say. It's been professional, but it hasn't been a love affair. It's been not a fairy tale story. I think he just wants to leave there as on good terms as possible, on best of terms as possible. And to me, it would point that effectively, yes, I do think that Leo will be playing in Saudi Arabia, because the Busquets thing, although not confirmed yet, so we cannot speculate whether it's true or not. But if he does leave and he does go to Saudi Arabia, and Jordi Alba, who is on his final year with a contract, final year of his contract with the club, he's clearly not getting as many minutes as he used to. Alejandro Balde is deservedly, and through sheer merit and hard work and youth as well. The starter for Xavi Hernandez. So I'm sure Jordi Alba wouldn't mind giving up 1 year of his contract and also move to Saudi Arabia along with Busi, live in even hotter weather and just rake it up. I mean, I don't know how much these guys are going to earn, but if Leo is going to go there as well, which could happen, it's on the table, then that means that next season we'll be talking about the Saudi Arabia League having Busi, Alba, Cristiano, and Leo Messi all in that league, playing there for a crazy amount of money, and life goes on. But you know, I guess we'll see, man. We'll see. I genuinely thought that he was gonna come to Barca, actually. Now that we got the news that La Liga had like approved it as well, so I was like, oh shit, that kind of, maybe Tebas is doing this out of a desperate attempt. Maybe they know that talks are very advanced with Saudi Arabia, and Tebas is like, fuck. Okay, fine. You can sign him. Just get rid of 100 million in cap space. All of a sudden, that's the other thing. It was 200 million cap space in salary cap. Now it's 100 million. So I don't know if he axed it in half. I don't know, man. But to me, it kind of looks like now, okay, well, I guess they're going to look for, you know, one last big, massive check before, I don't know, going to the US. Who knows?
Wow. I mean, so there's a lot that you said that I kind of took mental notes on. Interesting. First of all, shame on both of us. It's not L'Oreal, nor is it L'Oreal. It's Glorious with an S.
That's it. Thank you.
So that's churros. Second of all,
big time.
Who do you think?
It's especially sad, seeing as I've had to report it today on Barca News, and I forgot the name of it.
Did you say L'Oreal on TV?
No, I would have said L'Oreal or whatever it is.
Who do you think was holding the gun behind the camera?
Good question. Had to be, right? Or one of his goons.
Poor guy, man. I've never seen someone look so uncomfortable. Making an apology he clearly didn't really believe in.
He looked annoyed more than uncomfortable, I would say. I feel like I've seen Messi look uncomfortable, and he looked more annoyed there.
The next item, I guess, is Jorge Messi coming out and making that statement. I think one of the things that some people are missing here is that he has to make that statement. I don't think it necessarily means that no agreement has been made with the club or no talks have been, you know, like he can't come out and say
they're planning their future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can't come out and say like, you know, something has been agreed upon here or there. Would it make you sad if Messi went to Saudi now?
Kiyan. Sad? No, definitely not. In fact, the prospect, and I'm being very open here, it is a Tuesday churros at the end, so I know what stays on Tuesday churros, or what gets said on Tuesday churros stays on Tuesday churros. It's tough to say Tuesday churros. Tongue twister. The prospect of Busi, Jordi Alba, you can get a 3-for-2 pack. I'll throw Sergi Roberto in the mix. If we could kind of like get them off the roster for next season, I don't see that as a bad thing for Xavi. No, I don't.
No, not in terms of him not coming back to Barca, because I actually think I don't know if this is a hot take, but I actually think it's a bullet dodged if Messi doesn't come back to Barca. It's too sentimental and it's not ingrained in football ideologies. But it's more like as a Messi fan, there was so many memes last year of like, oh, Ronaldo's finished going to Saudi. He was 37. Right. Messi's 35 right now. And I just wonder.
But but Ronaldo has been sucking ass for a long time at United, and I mean, clubs didn't want him. It was very ugly. This guy, somebody who's. We were just talking about Messi leaving. I don't think
you need to make it more than 2 years.
2 years, fine.
Let's say 36.
At Juve, he was bad. Things were not working out.
Last year at Juve, he was good. I mean, like, there's a tactical side of things that, you know, defensively, it hurts the team, whatever. Same with Messi. But
Messi just finished winning the World Cup and everything. I mean,
Okay, anyway, let's separate the Ronaldo side of things. I shouldn't have brought him up. As a Messi fan, is this how you want to see him end his career?
no,
Mm.
no, I don't. And that side of it surprises me because I felt that the argument for him wanting to remain in competitive surroundings for just a little longer, I felt like that was an argument that sort of stuck with Messi. Having said that, he is 35 on the wrong side of 35. Let's say he just finished winning the World Cup, which, as he admittedly said yesterday, was the most important part of his entire career, and he worked his entire career towards this very moment. By the way, he had very nice words about Barca, the only club that he did bring up, by the way, which I thought was really nice.
I thought it was hilarious because he basically just refused to acknowledge PSG even exists. It's almost like he doesn't even acknowledge himself that he plays for PSG. He completely, which is great. I'm totally okay with him throwing PSG under the bus.
Under the bus. Exactly. So, us culés will take these little digs and as a triumph, as a win for us over PSG, and that even Messi himself will not even acknowledge his time there or their existence. And he should walk off clip clopping on a horse into the horizon wherever he wishes. Of course, I guess it's Saudi, I guess it's the money, I guess it's for what Saudi Arabia represents as well, in terms of their lack in basic human rights, internationally as well. What is happening with Yemen, and for a lot of it, what it represents. And again, this is a country that I haven't been to, and I clearly don't know much about. But so I feel bad generalizing all of the Saudi Arabian people, of which maybe we might have some. However, over here, I guess in the West, and from sort of mainstream information that I have picked up, it's not a place that I see somebody like Messi retire with dignity, if you will, especially if it's not for the sums that are being reported. 400, 600, even the 200 that Cristiano supposedly is earning is far too much money for anybody to receive in a single season for kicking a ball around. But I'm starting to sound like an old man yelling at the clouds at this point. And I get that, but you ask me a question: does it make you sad him going there? And I guess that's the answer from that perspective is yes.
I want to bring this back to Busquets for a second. I guess it's interesting if he does leave, which is not entirely surprising if he does. I mean, there were murmurs of this for a long time now. And there was like kind of something midway through the season that they convinced him that, stay for one more season, all that stuff. It's interesting to see what direction the club goes from a stylistic standpoint, because they don't have anyone in the squad that is like him. Yeah. Kind of, he in his toolbox, Busquets is both a disruptor and a player who can play with the ball at his feet. And I don't think Frankie or Gavi or Pedri or Kessié are that kind of player. Pedri and Frankie and Gavi, these are all like really important players for you guys, but they don't have the same profile as Busquets. And yeah. I wonder what direction they'll go in, because quite frankly, you can't really find a player like Busquets on the market either easily. Someone who
you would ideally get like a Rodri.
Yeah, but he's not going to be attainable, right?
No.
So I guess I'm curious to see what direction Barca go in without him. Do they just basically play a different way? Do they try to groom someone to kind of do what he does? Because no one can do it in the roster right now.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that there is no substitute for, in my opinion, the greatest defensive midfielder that I've ever seen. Busquets, we say Busquets in his prime, but even still nowadays, he shows instantly signs and glimpses of brilliance. And I would have thought that he still has enough in him to at least play another season with reduced minutes, thereby, lowering the load on him and getting the team, transitioning the team from him into being stylistically and tactically a different, structured team. But now it'll be very abrupt for Xavi to do so. Who will be the substitute? I think when Frenkie first signed for the club, it was kind of like, oh, well, he's the natural substitute for Busquets because in Ajax and the Dutch national team, he played in that double pivot role. But as you rightly pointed out, he's a very different player than a Busquets. And it will, remain to be seen whether Xavi will be able to either mold him into a defense, because I think it is Frenkie at the end of the day that will play in that position. I don't see anybody else unless, Nico from Valencia, Nico Gonzalez comes back, who I don't know if he's still injured or not. I know he started the year with a very serious injury. I don't know if he has recovered from that at this point in time. It's a quick look. I can quickly check it out. He's played 21 games so far this season. And at the moment, well, it looks like he has been back. Okay, picking up here 50 minutes, 45 minutes, 80, so 84 70 minutes. Valencia are in the danger zone. It's a hard team. They could get relegated, for crying out loud. I cannot judge Nico's performance with Valencia to safely say he can come back from his loan spell from a team that is fighting relegation and be a successful substitute for Busquets. I know that Xavi wanted that. Xavi wanted him at the beginning of the season to stay and basically already start this transition from Busquets getting less minutes, decreasing his minutes, and his importance, his impact with the team, and allow Nico to maneuver in that position as a defensive mid. So I guess we'll have to wait and see for the summer. I would imagine Nico is, I think it's a year long spell. I don't know. I would imagine that he's back for the preseason. I'm sure he's going to try Frenkie there. Will he be able to contain Frenkie de Jong, who likes to run and likes to have space? He likes to push. It's a lot more quicker in transition than what a Xavi would ideally want from his midfielder. And I don't want to bring up rumors anymore, past rumors or bring up a bad blood, but the fact is that over the summer months, last summer, Frenkie de Jong was, in the news a lot. And if you want to say with one foot out the door, well, it's not entirely an exaggeration, because for many reasons, and a big reason is, of course, the financial side of the club, the fact that they need to lower the wage bill, the salary cap, 100 million. Mateo Alemán has mentioned that, despite him now obviously announcing his own departure, that this summer will be an active one and see Barca have to offload big name players with big contracts, or at least big fees that they can bring up. They can bring in big money. There's a lot of players that are mentioned. We're hearing Rafinha for 80 million. Manchester United bid 150 million last year for an Ansu Fati. We talked about his price currently. We see, I think 150 is a stretch. No team will come to that number, but I don't see half of that being attainable for a Premier League side that would want to take a good gamble on a very young, talented player like Ansu Fati. Then Ferran Torres come to mind, of course, etc. But one of the name that can't be forgotten is Frenkie de Jong. So with that being said, if he does leave, could what's his name? Gundigan.
Ali Halal.
Ali Halal, could they come as substitutes? Bernardo Silva, I don't know. A lot what can happen over the summer. I think, and I'll end it here. I realize I'm going on a large rant here. I think that Busquets' absence will be missed as much as Xavi's, as much as Andres's, Iniesta's, and Messi's. Why not as well? I mean, the four of them were a dynasty, and one that football had never seen before and will never see again, in my opinion. So to fill that void, it's going to be massive.
I think Frankie is the most poised to take on that role and provide kind of what Busquets provides, but I think he'll have to evolve a little bit more if he's to take that role. It'll also be interesting because what they could do is, I mean, that frees up space to play the 4-3-3, because if you want to play Pedri, Gavi, and Frankie together, then the long-term solution probably is for Frankie to evolve into a single pivot, which opens up room for two wingers. I mean, and that will have to happen if Messi comes back, in theory. I think you'd have to play those three plus Messi on the right, and then left is probably, Dembele or Ansu, and then Lewandowski up front. But I also think it'll be interesting if it feels like it's almost the end of the box midfield era. If Busquets leaves and they don't replace him, they'll just have to figure something else out, especially if Messi comes back. It'll be interesting. It's something to monitor for sure.
When you think of Frankie in the 5, and it's not like we haven't seen him. I mean, Xavi has tried him in that position, but how do you differ Frankie from Abusi? Like, how do you see him in that role?
I think do
you agree that, I mean, he's like what Xavi, and so that's kind of why I brought it up. Xavi was a little bit frustrated at times and made it publicly known in the press that Frankie's not, really playing or like following orders, if you will, or like really listening to what Xavi. I think that a lot of that has changed. I think the fact that, Frankie's been playing in a different, or let's say his more favorable position in the midfield is also done him a lot of good, a lot of benefit. But yeah, just how do you see Frankie excel in that role compared to Bus?
I think what made Busquets so special was he had a defensive understanding of the game while being elite on the ball in his position. It's sometimes hard to find both. Sometimes you see the defensive strength and not the offensive side, or vice versa. But Busquets had both. He had the technical ability and also the defensive understanding in terms of his positioning, and also just knowing when to step up and how to read the game and intercept passes. Frankie has some of that in his toolbox, but I think Frankie's strength is also and also you're talking about like some of the stuff he does on the field and in instructions and not listening. I don't think it was a matter of not listening. It would be, my obviously uneducated guess about what's happening there. It's more about like what he's habitualized to do. He's habitualized to drive the ball forward and get in the final third. And I think that's what probably was a little bit tricky for him to figure out at Barca in that single pivot position. He's one of the best ball carriers in the world from his position. The way he moves into the box off the ball also. He can't really do that stuff as a 6 or as a 5, as you put it, whatever you want to call it. That's why I think his best position is just ahead of the DM and not as the DM. So that's why I think he'll have to evolve a little bit, and you might lose some of his strengths from that position. And again, I think the reason why Barca might look to move him there is because there's not really, unless it's someone like Nico, who is obviously very raw still. It's not like there's this long list of Busquets you can sign to replace him. So I'm curious to see how that goes this summer.
We shall see.
We got 10 minutes. What do you want to prioritize?
A farewell to one of the best midfielders I've ever seen, man. Like, it's been a pleasure, and like I said, his absence from the Barca game will be hugely missed. What do I want to talk about? Well, listen, I'm like just excited for tonight. I guess a little bit of Real Madrid news.
I can react to they just announced the starting lineup. I can react to that.
Okay, there we go.
So Courtois, Carvajal, it's pretty much as expected. But a lot of Madridistas are panicking. You know that?
Great.
You know that text I always send you before each Clasico saying we're gonna lose?
Which you did again. Yeah. Which you did already. Yeah.
It's kind of that midfield vibes. So
okay.
Carvajal, Rudiger, obviously because Militao suspended. Rudiger, Alaba, Camavinga left back. Midfield is Modric, Kroos, and Valverde, which means Kroos as the 6, basically. And then Rodrigo, Vinicius, Benzema. It's not terrible. It's just that a lot of Real Madrid fans really wanted to see Tchouaméni in the starting lineup because for defensive purposes.
Obviously, yeah.
And I just don't know. City are obviously a scary attacking team, but also very good behind the ball. You just want a little bit of steel in there, some more two-way balance. Fede is
I would love. He's not a defensive midfielder. It's not to say he cannot defend, but I just want you guys to get your heads kicked in. It would be so gratifying to see like an absolute goal fest tonight. Just fucking, Haaland going crazy. It's like scoring 5 goals or something.
Okay, so I have some opinions on what you just said.
Okay,
and maybe some hot takes. I don't think that that's going to happen. Not going to say Real Madrid will win or lose. I would not be surprised if we lost. I also wouldn't be surprised if we won. I think it's really hard to do that against Real Madrid in the Champions League. And I think a lot of Real Madrid fans are scared of this City team. And I've seen a lot of people, specifically in the English media and also just takes from English people and British people.
English people, they should have learned by now to shut their mouths. They are the biggest talkers and are always cocky and are always talking too much before these kind of matches, these citas, as they say so romantically in Spanish, these dates. They should have learned from history that it doesn't work out in their favor whenever they started gloating before these kind of games. And not just against Real Madrid. This is not just the big up Los Blancos. It's against Barca. It's against Sevilla. It's against, any international tournaments where, England has faced any other opposition, with exception of the Germans. They are frightened of the Germans. Anything else, they're always talking massive smack. Whether it was Man United against Barca in the Champions League finals, etc. It's always this, or Arsenal or Chelsea, or now again with the Man City. Shush.
That's for sure. I don't know if you, and obviously this has nothing to do with Manchester City in particular, but I don't know if you saw Wayne Rooney wrote a column for the Times, and he actually wrote that not only will Manchester City beat Real Madrid, but will destroy them.
I did read that. I'm like, dude.
So listen. I don't know if this is going to come back to me. I think it's really hard to do against Real Madrid in the Champions League, because as you saw, even when City were dominating Real Madrid at the Etihad last season, we still scored 3 goals and lost 4-3. The idea of it being a complete bloodbath is a little bit far fetched to me. I also.
Can I just quickly jump in? I've just Googled, quick cheeky Google search, peores goleadas del Real Madrid en la Champions League, and I've come across an article, peores goleadas que ha sufrido el Madrid al nivel internacional. So the worst international defeats for Real Madrid, we got to go all the way back to 2018-19, and I'm not saying
that's not that far back.
It is though, but because it was in the group phase. 3-0 against CSKA Moscow, which is pronounced Chesko. Then the semifinal, 2012-2013 semifinal.
Dortmund.
The away leg against Borussia.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4-0. 2008, 2009,
Liverpool.
Liverpool 4-0. Very good. Look at you. And then
I'm
2005,
scarred by all of these.
2006.
Which one?
2005, 2006 in the group phase against.
Oh,
You've probably forgotten this one and the one before or after this.
506 group stage.
French team.
Lyon?
Yeah. 3-0 against Lyon.
Was
Then 04, 05, 3-0 against Leverkusen, also in the group. And now here comes another big one. You'll probably remember this. You'll definitely remember this. 99, 2000.
Bayern.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
ironically,
anyway.
we won the Champions League that year.
Right. So yeah, you guys really haven't suffered much in recent years at all. And like massive defeats. That is, yeah.
Well, I just want to make another point about this. Like a lot of people say City are better than last year. I think Real Madrid are better than they were last year. And I know I feel like the league standings are a bit misleading. It does not affect our.
Did you send the script to Carlo, or is he sending it to you now? Is this the 14-point difference is not really 14 points difference?
It doesn't excuse Real Madrid's terrible La Liga season. I'm not making excuses for it at all. It was brutal. But also, if you look at the underlying analytics of what happened this season, we've created more chances and scored more goals than Barca. And Barca are really getting away with people missing like great chances against them and winning 1-0. And so like the math says that Real Madrid should actually be basically tied for Barca in first place. And they've just had like a lot of things not go their way, and Barca had a lot go their way.
You could summarize any season. Nah, I mean, you're taking away.
Not every season has analytics like this that show that Real Madrid are the best offensive team, and they're
Barca in the past
and the champion has gotten pretty lucky on the defensive side of things.
No, putting it down to luck is
I'm not.
Don't be mad then when I use the same metric of luck with you guys winning Champions League titles.
No, I will, because I'm not saying Barca were lucky. I think Barca are deserved champions. I'm just saying that, just for argument's sake of are Real Madrid better than last year or not, I think a few things are true. I think Real Madrid had a terrible league campaign, but from a pure offensive production standpoint, they're actually as good, if not better, than last year, and have had tremendous leaps from Camavinga and Rodrigo, those two in particular, which I think if you put that all together, their ceiling is they can still win the Champions League this year. And I don't think their league campaign is very relevant when we're talking about what they can do against City. Like, I saw a lot of Real Madrid fans after the Osasuna game say, man, if we play like this against City, we're going to get destroyed. And my response would be like, when has that ever had anything to do with anything? When has Real Madrid playing shitty in La Liga against Spanish teams ever had anything to do with how they elevate their game against a big team in the Champions League? Time and time again, we have seen this, that Real Madrid are one team against Alcorcon or Ibiza or Leganés, and they're just a completely another team against Bayern, City, whoever. So like, I just don't. Football doesn't work that way. Like, you play this way against Osasuna, you'll get destroyed against City. Yeah, that is a true statement, that if you play like this. But when have Real Madrid copy and pasted their performances? They raise their game, and they also lower their level against quote unquote lower teams. So I just feel like I'm actually more confident against City this year than I was last year. I don't know if it's because I trust some of our players more, even after what I've seen last year, and also some players are better. Having said that, City are amazing, man. They're the best team we faced this season, and they can absolutely do damage against us and beat us convincingly. So I'm just nervous, I guess. Now I'm nervous. when you hear me talking, like blabbering, making no sense, I'm just nervous. So I don't know what to say.
Good. Then, my friend, my job here is done. That is all I can hope for right now.
You want to make a prediction?
My prediction, you probably have seen it. This meme that has been going around, or this GIF where City is winning like 300-0 in the 94th minute.
That's not today, but that can't be today though. That's for the second leg. That's
right.
Reserved.
Yeah. Yes, true. Yeah.
Well, have you seen the ones where like I should just send it to you. I wanted to share my screen, but I think it will affect copyright things. But no, I don't think it will actually. This is my favorite. Nah, forget it. It'll take too long to load. There's the one where the beginning of the video, Pep is like screaming in the locker room. He has a tactics board out, like doing this and like very complicated. And then the next clip is Ancelotti from the documentary.
Dancing.
Pass, score.
Oh.
It's great. The meme, I mean, if nothing else, the memes from this are only amazing.
Yeah, I saw another one, which was I think I can retweet it from the Churros account. It's Pep, also from the Amazon Prime docu-series, like going through the tactics, like drawing lines, zigzag, all intense talking. And then right next to it, you see Carlo and like Vinicius and Rodri and Camavinga doing the dance after the Champions League.
The power
and
of friendship.
It has the power of friendship. Yeah. I was gonna say that's
the biggest caption. Like that's the motto of the Real Madrid fan base. It's not tactics, it's the power of friendship. That's all we need. Right. It's great. Need. The memes have been great from this.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, good luck in your quest in supporting Pep Guardiola. Just remember,
Pep. Go on, City.
Don't orgasm too hard when City go up a couple goals. You got to pace yourself.
I've learned not to. Trust me. Yeah.
Pace yourself.
I'll keep a tight lock on it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna jizz my pants just yet. Yeah.
Yeah. Just keep it in just in case. Keep it in the pants.
Yes.
All right, bro.
All right, dude.
Good luck, man. We'll chat on Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday for sure.
All right. Peace out. Great chatting. Take care.